Hello everyone, my name's Rach and today I'm going to show you how to make a galette de Rois. The ingredients for this cake are sugar, eggs, almond meal, hazelnut meal, corn flour, almond essence, orange essence, salt and unsalted butter. The first step in making a galette de Rois, also known as a king cake, is making the almond cream. We do this by creaming 125 grams of softened butter. Now we want to put that in a mix master on medium speed. Alright, notice that the butter has lost its dark yellow colour and has now gone that creamy sort of texture. Alright, next we have to mix in the dry ingredients. So, we have 125 grams of sugar, 110 grams of almond meal, 2 tablespoons of hazelnut meal, 1 tablespoon of corn flour, and a generous pinch of salt. Now using a whisk, mix it all in to remove any lumps. Alright, once you've mixed it all in and there's no lumps left in it, you can add that to your butter. Just being nice and careful. Spill everywhere. And then put the mix master on low to medium speed. Alright, now we need to do the wet mixture. So we want 1 teaspoon of orange essence, 1 drop of almond essence, and 2 eggs. Now we want to add half of the eggs and then we want to beat that well and then add the other half. Now put the mix master on medium speed. Alright, and now we add the other half of the egg and beat that in well. Alright, when you've beaten in the eggs, the almond cream can be covered in some cling wrap and refrigerated for at least an hour or overnight. Alright, now the next step is to cut the pastry. Now you can either make one big 30cm pie, but that way you're going to have to roll and make your own pastry. But today we're going to do it the easy way, and you can make 2 15cm pies using already bought puff pastry, and it's already rolled, so all you have to do is cut it out. It's much easier. Alright, now we're going to cut the pastry. So I'm using a 15cm plate for the base and a 17cm plate for the top. And then we just get a pin-pointed knife, so it's just got a point at the end, and just gently cut a nice circle around the rim of the plate. Okay, now we get the base and carefully flip it onto a tray that has been papered and greased. Alright, now we're going to make the egg wash. That sticks the pastry together and you put it on top before you bake it. So we need to use the yolk of 1 egg. Now you've got to be very careful so your egg doesn't go everywhere. We want the yolk of 1 egg and 1 tablespoon of milk. And then we just whisk that together. Okay, now we're going to get our egg wash and dipping a brush into it, paste it around the rim, 2.5 centimetres in, not too thick, and try not to splash it on the baking paper. So, here we've got our almond cream that's been refrigerated for approximately 4 hours, and we've just taken it out half an hour before we put it on the pastry just to soften it up a little so it's easy to work with. Now as we're making 2 small pies, we need to halve this mixture and then get half of that and place it gently in the middle of our pastry. Okay. Now it just needs to go to the rim of where our egg wash was. So if you get a knife and a spatula, you can just smooth it out nice and easy like that. It needs to be the same height all the way round. So this does take a bit of care and a bit of effort. The most exciting part of this cake is placing a small trinket, in this case a bead, into the cake, because whoever gets the trinket or the bead when we cut the cake open is crowned king or queen of the day, because the cake is one of the major celebrations of the Epiphany, which is when the 3 wise men travelled into Bethlehem. So we're going to place it in there, and we don't want to put it in the middle, so when you cut down you don't hit it in there. Alright. Now we're going to place the top of the cake onto the almond cream. Now we want to do this very carefully and just pat it down softly to get any of those air bubbles out. Okay. Then with a flat knife like this one, we just want to press it down or tuck it in around the edges. Alright, now we need to score it. Now I'm going to use a sun pattern because that's the main pattern, but you can also do diamonds and flowers and things. Now the sun pattern starts like this, and we use the dull side of a pointed knife and just pull it round like that. And repeat this pattern till you get all the way back round. Alright, now what I'm doing is I'm just pushing in the edges where the lines have come down, just so it gives that really good shape pattern. Alright, now we're going to put some of that egg wash that we made earlier onto the top of the pastry. Now try not to heap it down the bottom, or else it'll just create little pools and it'll get all burnt. Okay, so once that's evenly spread around, it's nearly time to go in the fridge. But we just need to poke 5 holes in it, 1 in the middle and 4 on the outside. These just let it evenly rise. when it goes in the oven. Alright, now our cake has been in the fridge for an hour, and now we just need to put it into the oven. For 25 minutes, and that's at 180 degrees Celsius. Now we can do the sugar glaze, and we're going to make this a minute or two just before it comes out, and then we're going to put it on the cake and leave it in the oven for another minute. So the sugar glaze is made out of 1 tablespoon of icing sugar, and then a tablespoon of boiled water. Now this needs to be really hot. And stir that in well. Alright, now we're just taking the cake out of the oven. Alright, perfect. Just like that. And then we get our sugar glaze. And then just cover it in that. Nice and soft so we don't break it. And this will make it be nice and brown and crispy, just how we want it. And then we just pop that back in the oven for another minute, and it should be perfect. Alright, once you've taken your cake out of the oven for that 1 minute and let it cool for a while, you can take it over and start to decorate it. Now usually we decorate it with some crowns and the trinkets. Ta-da! My first made king cake.